If you are into web development, then you must have heard about React. But who hasn't, right? This produced by Facebook library is steadily conquering the market with only a couple of strong competitors to battle. Given all that popularity, people started to use React in most various and crazy moments. Even Facebook has been promoting its React Native that allows us to create native applications with it. On the other hand, an old war between zealots of rendering both on the client side and server side is reaching its peak. I mean, what should we choose? Lighter web services or cohesive web application that does all the heavy lifting on the server? Tough choice, but remember, we have React. Will it be a solution to this problem as well? People behind Next.js definitely think so. They prepared for us a PHP-inspired solution that allows us to use React on the server side. How well does this library fare? And is it even a solution? Let's find out. Next.js was created by Zeit, a company that has found its purpose in making life for developers as easy as possible. That means easy to use products and a lot of command line magic. Their creation, now, allows us not only to deploy our application with just one command, but to also buy domains using a terminal. Crazy, right? I'm a big fan of heavy CLI usage, so they definitely have my thumbs up. We came here to see HTML in server-side code, so enough with the flattering. First, we have to install the framework. The process goes pretty typical. Just npm install is enough, but be aware though that React and React DOM packages are also required. Other than that, we are ready to go. There are two possible ways to start our application with Next.js. First one, the more basic and simple, is to just use the next command in the terminal. And the second way is to create a Node.js server and add Next as a middleware. For now, we will stay with the first solution and let's actually make something. After running next command, we are left with a very welcoming console error. The Next.js is one of those convention over configuration libraries and requires the pages folder to work. This folder, as the name suggests, is destined to store all the views. The way it works is actually pretty intuitive. The name of the file containing the view will be the default root that the user have to put in the URL bar of the browser. Let's create a simple hello world example. Firstly, we create the folder, then we create the index.js file. We can say that it corresponds in a way to index.html file and will be treated as the default main file of an application. In it, we actually describe the content of our example. This time, it will be just a header element with the friendly hello there text in it. As you can see, we are in fact using React and the definitions are written in JSX. A quick look at the browser shows us that there is in fact our text displayed and everything works as intended. Here we have the actual page source if you are interested. Okay, we have our simple app in our hands, so let's try to improve it and make some subpages with links in between. To do it, we can use the usual A element. Here we have our app and also one subpage in the subpage.js file. Thanks to Next.js, we can access it through the /subpage URL and we use that as a value for href param. This method works, but has one major issue. With every transition, the page completely refreshes, and that is something, especially in the context of simple page applications, that might not be wanted. To deal with it, developers at Zeit prepared the link component. It works similarly to the regular anchor, but it uses internal magic making the transition without the need of refresh. Using basic words, with Next.js we are getting server-side rendered single page applications out of the box. Very, very nice. Having basic routing functionality set up, we might want to prepare some predefined components. Does Next.js impose any solution as it does with pages? It doesn't. Here we have an example of simple application that is using some shared layout components. As you can see, components can be imported from external folder or even from the pages folder itself. Bear in mind though that every file stored in this folder can be accessed through the URL path, so storing every component there might not be the brightest of ideas. This is also a good place to see how we can spot any potential syntax errors. Because the code is now handled on the server side, there probably won't be any errors in the console of the browser, so maybe our main terminal will show something. It turns out that all syntax errors are shown in the browser, in a manner that can be missed. See it for yourself. Here we made some silly mistake, a quick refresh, and voila! A fresh and tasty error. Thanks to that, programmers probably won't miss any mistakes and we'll be able to react quickly and efficiently. Next.js makes creating server-side rendered applications extremely easy. I know there are a lot of developers that are not so compelled by an idea that some framework is forcing their project layout, but the way that this library is doing it, it's not so invasive. Either way, you will want to have a separate folder for your page level components. The only thing that Next.js is proposing is a name for it. The best part is that you don't have to write any code for your typical server side, and you can concentrate on the user's side of interaction. This can be especially useful for a quick mockups and tests. I think this framework is definitely useful, and I might be coming back with some deeper details about it. Do you have any experience with Next.js? Do you like it? Or would you like to see more material on it? Write a comment and let's talk about this technology. Alright guys, thanks for watching. As usual, check my previous video where I tried to make some animated diagrams with Go.js. Subscribe if you want to see more programming investigations, and see you next time.